All right, we are live on YouTube and also simulcasting live on Facebook. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here today on this Thursday morning. It is Thursday, right? Yes, it is. It's Thursday, July 1st. It is the 1st of July. That means we are officially halfway through 2021, and wow. Did this year get halfway through or become halfway through very, very quickly. Wow, time flies when you're having fun, right? If you were here earlier, several hours ago when I attempted to do this show, I had to kill the stream and basically delete it. I'll explain more about what happened regarding that in a few. But before we get to all of that, let me just make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out, and it absolutely has. And let me also check out the back end of Facebook, the back end of YouTube, and make sure that that is rolling smoothly. And it absolutely is. And again, like I mentioned, we're simulcasting live on Facebook, and on the back end of Facebook, it looks good, but let's check out the app and make sure it's rolling perfectly. And again, I am at the top of the newsfeed. Lewis Fuller sent you 4 new messages. Oh, yeah. Oh, right there at the top of the newsfeed. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, right there at the top of the newsfeed. Great. All right. I love watching myself in a non-selfish way, in a selfless way, because you can learn more on how to become a better speaker and better present yourself when you watch yourself, right? Do you folks watch your live stream replays, you folks that are streamers out there? I hope you do, because you can learn from your mistakes and you can learn how to better your delivery. So Facebook is looking good. Oh, man, we're starting off this show with a couple of super chats, and wow. Wow. Well, first of all, gosh, I'm so overwhelmed because of what happened earlier. It's not in a bad way. But earlier on, let me mention what happened, because there was a super chat that happened on the previous stream that I want to mention again here. Earlier, I was trying to do this as a late night stream. And Lord Gaelic, who's a moderator on my channel and who's a part of the Coach Eli clan behind the scenes, he's a part of our private moderator group. He popped on in, hadn't seen him in a while, and we were chatting it up. He was in the chat, and I was sharing a story regarding a woman that I've been talking with for the past 3 or 4 days. And he wanted to pop on the StreamYard panel to share his thoughts about it. And since I got my new laptop several weeks ago, I hadn't run a StreamYard on my new laptop. So I figured, I could just, launch it up and it would work just fine. But when I launched it up, the settings were off because this is a newer laptop with a higher resolution screen, and I had to reformat it. And once I got that all set, while I was still live on the air, the audio wasn't working for some reason. So I killed the stream earlier and fixed the issues. So now StreamYard does work properly. I'm not going to be bringing anyone on this show. I was going to bring on Lord Gaelic because it was late at night, and sometimes I'll make a certain exception if someone hasn't been around in a while, and he's always a great contributor. So I made an exception. I was going to bring him on, but again, it wasn't working properly. So killed the stream, fixed it. It's rolling well. So the next time I do a StreamYard panel, or even if someone does want to pop on for a little bit, I can, set it up while I'm live on the air very, very easily. But Lord Gaelic gave me a $5 super chat earlier on that stream that's been deleted. And I want to thank you once again, Lord Gaelic, for your $5 super chat. And I apologize regarding what happened earlier. I would love to get you on the show anytime down the road that you pop on in, bro. So that's what happened earlier. I set up a new stream, went and took an Epsom salt bath, And I got some good rest yesterday, folks, so I'm still awake. I'm probably going to take a nap after this show and come back and do something later this afternoon or evening. But yeah, it's been one of those days. The last 24 hours or so, it's been rather interesting. But before the show started, American Dream 2.5 popped on in with a $2 super chat. And now, BWYA Gaming, moderator and channel member, with a $5 super chat. Hello, Eli. Great topic. Let's do this. Ha, ha, ha. Wow. And you're yellow now. That's 2 months of membership, of being a channel member. BWYA Gaming. Thank you so much for that. So we're going to add another $7 to the channel donations fund, and we're going to increase that to $12. Thank you again to Lord Gaelic for your $5 super chat on the previous stream that's been deleted. And thank you to American Dream 2.5 for your $2 super chat with no message. And thank you to BWYA Gaming for your $5 super chat. Thank you. Much appreciated. Much love from Coach Eli. I'm going to give you folks a big round of applause. Yeah. So I'm glad that the stream failed earlier. I'm glad that there were some issues and I had to kill it and redo it, because I have more to share with you folks now regarding this topic that I just learned about over the last several hours. Whenever I take an Epsom salt bath, I bring my iPhone 12 Pro Max in there with me, and I watch YouTube videos. And I was recommended this video by another content creator, a female content creator I've been following for a while. Many of you know her because she's blown up her main channel to, I think she's over 400K subs now. Let me take a look and see. Let me see. Hang on a second. Wow, she is close. She is close to 400K subs. She is at 393,000 subscribers, and I'm talking about Catherine Manning, who used to be known as the Content Bug. And about a year ago, or a little less than a year ago, she had a life-changing experience, and she created a secondary channel called Catherine Manning Vlogs, I believe, is what it's called. And she's been more so vlogging regarding her personal life on that channel, and still creating other videos on her main channel, like social media tips, YouTube tips, etc., right? But she did a video where she titled it, she's gonna talk about her husband cheating on her, her ex-husband cheating on her. And I was like, oh, okay, you caught my attention. And the title of that video is called "How I Felt Finding Out My Husband Cheated on Me, Reacting to Unseen Footage 1 year Later." I was like, okay, it's a 36-minute video. It's quite a long video, but I'll bring it with me in the Epsom salt bath and let me hear what Catherine has to say. Well, the first 15 minutes or so was, all the fluff that everyone does to try to keep you watching their videos longer for average view duration. I get that. I kind of get it. But then she went into what actually happened. And I have to say I'm very disappointed at how she presented this, because she either presented it in a way that she felt would get her more traction, or she presented it in what she felt was a genuine way, but didn't take ownership of, her mistakes, right? And I'm not saying this to be critical to Catherine or any other women out there nowadays, but what I am noticing in the modern world is that when men and women go through divorce, or they go through a breakup, or there's cheating involved, the person that was cheated on never accepts responsibility for their part of the relationship that made the other person want to cheat. Now, I don't condone cheating. Okay, I'm going to be very clear. I do not condone cheating. There's no reason to cheat in a relationship. You either are going to be with the person or you're not going to be with the person, right? But there's a reason why people cheat. And the typical reason why people cheat is because there's something currently lacking in the relationship that wasn't initially lacking when they first got together, right? Excuse me a second. I have an itch on my nose. Oh my gosh, it's an itch for good luck. Whenever I get an itch that bad, it means that there is something good coming. I'll get to the chat in a second because I already see what the chat is saying. But, Queen, I get what you're saying. I would kick him out the door permanently. But here's the thing. What Catherine did not mention in her story was what her ex-husband, who was her ex-fiancé and ex-boyfriend before they got married or engaged to get married, what did he do to help her get to where she's at today? And would Catherine have gotten to the point of where she's at today, almost 400,000 subscribers on her YouTube channel, making a 6+ figure income? She makes over $100,000 a year. Would she have been able to do that if she didn't have the support of her ex-husband, who was, her boyfriend before that for many years? They got together many, many years ago, right? And I've been following Catherine for quite some time. The reason why I mention this is because it pertains to the topic. Let me get to the topic real quick. The topic is the importance of communication in personal and professional relationships. One more time, the importance of communication in personal and professional relationships. And before I get further into it, Troy, I forgot to mention you as a sponsor. This YouTube channel, the Facebook simulcast, and anywhere else I put out my content is sponsored by Troy Brewer. He is the CEO, founder, and owner of the Discover Community Network. He is an expert at branding or marketing. If you need help with your branding, marketing, or if you need some great products and services that Troy offers to professionals and to also people at a personal level, he has some of the most trusted contacts in the industry. If you want to learn more about Troy, just go in the description on the YouTube side of things, about a third of the way down, and click on discovercommunitynetwork.com. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and just type in Discover Community Network in the Facebook search bar, and you'll be redirected to the Facebook business page. And from there, you can learn how to connect with Troy. If you'd like me to personally introduce you to Troy, please, find my email in the description section of Facebook and YouTube, and email me at Coach Eli at coach.eliasmelas.com. That's Coach Eli at coach.eliasmelas.com. And I'd be happy to do a personal intro through email. And if you'd like to set up a free consultation by phone, I can set that up for you with Troy. And I can even be on that call with you if you feel a little more comfortable that way. Once again, Troy, thank you very much for your continued sponsorship and patronage of my business, my YouTube channel, my Facebook simulcast, and anywhere else I put out my content. Lots of luck from Coach Eli and the Coach Eli clan. So, back to the story here. So, again, the topic is the importance of communication in personal and professional relationships. We're talking about Catherine Manning, a successful young female YouTuber who made it big. Her channel took off like a rocket. I would say it started about a little over a year and a half ago. A little over a year and a half ago, Catherine started to make it big. She hit over 100,000 subscribers, and her income tremendously increased through affiliate links that she uses to sell products or resell products, and ad revenue, etc., right? Sponsorships, all that stuff, right? Good for you, Catherine. Good for you. But what Catherine failed to mention in her video is what her man did to help her get there. what did Catherine do instead? And again, I'm not trying to bash Catherine. I like you, Catherine. I think you're a great person. I love women in general. But I think a lot of women nowadays, because of women's lib, have this entitlement feeling that they just, deserve to have all these things, and they expect to have all these things that, men have always had in the past and worked hard to get, right? So they're living this entitlement type of lifestyle, and they don't realize how that's coming off to their man. Let me explain in greater detail. So Catherine was saying that a month after she moved into her new house, or into the new house with her husband at the time, this was about a year ago, they moved into a new house, right? And she was showing, the move on YouTube. She was vlogging it, and it was pretty cool, right? 1 month after they moved into that house, her husband walked in while she was working and basically told her that he had cheated on her. And she was floored. She was floored. I started thinking, why would her husband, 1 month after they moved into a new place they just purchased together, say that? Well, I kept on hearing more and more of the story. Catherine then told us that a couple years back, her husband back then, I think maybe it was before they got married, or right when they got married, or at that point, it was before they got married, I believe. He cheated on her again, and this was at a time where she had just relocated to live closer to the area where he lives, or something like that, right? So he cheated on her 2 years ago, or so, or longer than that, and she forgave him, right? And then he cheats on her again a month after they move into their new home together. Now, why didn't Catherine leave him the first time, over 2 years ago, when he first cheated on her? Excuse me, I have that itch. I'm sorry for the lack of professionalism. That's just a very, very big itch. I'm sorry about that. Well, I've been following Catherine for years now. I've heard her story. Catherine used to write a blog called The Content Bug. I still think she does it, but not as much. She was trying to make it as a social media blogger, and, there are ways to make money doing that through advertisements, sponsors, etc., this and that, right? And during that time, Catherine got into a lot of debt. Catherine got herself into a $35,000 debt. And there were times, where she would mention in some of her videos that, her husband was helping her out with some of her bills, but it was really taking a toll, on the finances. I did not get bitten by anything. It's my beard. It does it sometimes. After, 5 or 6 days that I trim it, it starts to itch me because it hits a certain point. Yeah, Queen, once a cheater, always a cheater. Believe me, I should know. I understand that, Queen. I don't condone cheating here, right? But at the same time, I also don't like it when women blame a man for everything regarding the demise of their relationship or marriage, when the truth of the matter is they had their part as well. And because women nowadays have this entitled, empowered type of behavior, some of them do, many of them do, it kind of irks me, to be honest with you. And then you get a woman that has almost 400K subs on her main channel and 15,000 subs on her backup channel, on her blogging channel, that comes on a camera and can sit there and cry and whine and complain, and has lots of people, showing her sympathy. including lots of guys that are simping to her, right? We all know what a simp is, right? It's a sucker idolizing, let's just say, an average everyday woman to be nice to the YouTube algorithm, right? And I'm going to read some of those comments. There's 500 of them. I'm not going to read them all. Obviously, we'll be here forever, but I'm going to read 5 or 10 of those comments. And I made a comment on there as well that's actually still there. I'm surprised it wasn't deleted. I'm going to share with you the comment I wrote, and then I'm going to share with you like 5 or 10 comments that other people wrote. So you have this woman that was in a lot of debt, was trying to make it as a social media expert, and her husband, or, her ex-husband, her husband at the time, who was her boyfriend before that, was basically picking up the financial burden, right? So why would she leave him 2 years ago when he first cheated on her, when she was in all this debt, right? She would not have been able to survive, right? Right? But why did he cheat on her? Why do people cheat? People cheat because of a lack of communication and a lack of a work personal life balance. In order for Catherine to have reached the level of success she's reached today on YouTube, almost 400K subscribers, she's had to dedicate all day, every day to recording videos, editing videos, optimizing them, doing all these things that take a toll on your relationship. They take a toll on your relationship. How do I know that? I was dating someone years ago on my former channel when I first started doing this 4 years ago. Okay? Now I'm going to share the difference of how I handled my relationship when I used to run my former channel, being a new YouTuber, compared to how I feel Catherine has handled it or mishandled it, in my opinion, right? So what happened over the last 2 years since her ex cheated on her? She worked hard, built her business, and got her channel to over 100K subs, now almost 400K subs, and she's turned her business into $100,000 plus per year business, right? And she paid off her $35,000 in credit card debt because of that. Now, do you think that if she didn't have the support of her ex-husband, financially and emotionally and spiritually, and maybe in other ways at times romantically, that she would have gotten there? I'm not saying she's not capable of doing it, but this woman, before she met this guy, was in a depressed state. She's talked about her depression. She's had to work very, very hard to get herself where she's at today. Hey, EMK, hold on a second. I'm itching again. Oh, man, I gave myself a good scratch. That itch is really, really bad. Whenever that happens, like I said, something good really comes out of this. So, Catherine starts making good money. She pays off her credit cards. And then all of a sudden, shit hits the fan. And then she moves into a new place with her husband. And 1 month after that, he admits to her that he cheated on her again. That was his way of saying, hey, it's time for us to break up. It's not working out. Now, what do I think really happened? What do I think really, really made her husband, her ex-husband, her husband at the time, to cheat on her? Well, based on what I know that it takes to grow a YouTube channel and make it successful at the level she has, she put in all her time into her work, her YouTube channel, her business, and hardly spent any romantic time with her husband. I'm sure her husband at that time wanted to be intimate with her, wanted to go to some dinners with her, wanted to go and do other things that couples do. But she was focused on her business, right? She was focused on her business, and I'm sure to a certain extent her husband was trying to support her. But he's also in a marriage with a woman that he just moved into a new house with, and there's no intimacy, and there's no time for them to spend together. Why be married? It's kind of like your roommates instead, right? She lost focus of her relationship. She became very selfish, started focusing on her business, and neglected her marriage. Now, BWYA Gaming, let me ask you, does that make sense what I'm saying so far? I'm not saying it's all her fault. It's not. It's both of their faults. But she's not taking any ownership of the marriage failing. She's blaming him completely. And that's pretty sad. Hello, Queen. Hello, BWYA Gaming, says EMK. Welcome, EMK. Okay? I honestly feel that Catherine Manning and her ex-husband have always been in a codependent relationship. Now, I don't know, what he was codependent on. But a lot of times, even guys that are in a good place emotionally and, they're working hard to move up the ranks in their job. They just got out of college and they're going to get a job, and they get a job and they want to get promoted and work up. It's just nice having a woman around. It makes things easier, right? It's just nice having a woman around. You have some sex every now and then, and you have someone to help you with the chores and someone to talk to, right? So I don't know what he got out of this, and I don't know if he, really was trying to make it work, or if they were just more so like roommates all along. But what it sounds like to me is they were both in a codependent relationship, and it sounds like to me she was more dependent on him than she was more dependent on him than he was on her, because he had the financial resources and she was in all this debt, right? Or else, again, she would have left him when he cheated on her over 2 years ago when she was $35,000 in debt. Why would she do that? It makes sense. You have to be able to balance things in your life. Yep. Excuse me. My apologies. That itch is driving me crazy today. Driving me crazy. And when they got divorced, she allowed him to keep the house. She told him to, if she wants the house, she can take over the payments, and, he'll put the home under her name, right? And she did a video back then saying that, I don't know how I'm going to be able to afford this house. This was a year ago. And then in the updated video she did 6 days ago on her blogging channel, she was saying, F yeah, I made it, and I'm doing this, and I'm paying this now, and I can afford to pay it now, right? She was acting all cocky, right? She was acting all cocky, and she was all acting like, oh yeah, I made it, screw you, dude, you didn't hurt me. No, he actually didn't hurt you, Catherine. He actually helped you get to where you're at, and you're not even realizing that. You're being very selfish and inconsiderate to his wants and needs. And that's probably one of the main reasons why he cheated on you, and also, why it didn't work out. Men don't like selfish women. Women don't like selfish men. But you were in a bad spot. You were in all this debt. You're trying to make it as a content creator. He's working a day job, busting his ass, making money, trying to support the both of you. And you didn't take any of his thoughts or feelings into consideration. You just focused on yourself, and you neglected your relationship and your marriage. That's what happened. But you're not hearing her come on the camera and say that, right? You're hearing her put up this front, making the guy sound like he's the biggest piece of crap, right? And he cheated on me, and I'll never let that happen again. And I should have known a couple years ago when he cheated on me the first time. No, you did know. You needed his resources, ma'am. You couldn't afford to leave him, ma'am. You wanted to leave him, but you stuck around because you needed his resources to carry through. And he was nice enough to stick around because he probably was getting something out of you at that point too, right? Probably, right? Maybe tax write-offs while you're married. He was getting something out of it, right? But again, the biggest thing this guy did for you, Catherine, was this, is that you guys bought a house together. You would have not qualified for that house on your own because you weren't showing enough income from YouTube yet, ma'am. So because of your combined income and his income, you guys bought that house together. 1 month after you moved in there, when he admitted to you that he cheated on you, he knew it was going to end the relationship. That was his way out, ma'am. And he offered for you to buy out the house, right? Right? And you were starting to make more money, so you knew eventually you're going to be able to afford the payments, ma'am, but you would have never qualified for that house initially because you would not have been able to show enough income at that time. Maybe now you would have because you're making more money, but back then, he did you a favor. And he let you out of the house. Now you have this nice house, you're making more money, and you're in a good position. Why? Because your ex-husband, your husband at the time, really helped you. At the end of the day, he helped you a lot more than he hurt you. And you're sitting here putting all the blame on him, right? You're putting all the blame on him, right? And then you're coming out here on YouTube and you're crying on camera and you're getting sympathy comments, right? That's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. This guy did you a favor. He helped you out. He could have left you out in the cold, right? You weren't married too terribly long, so you wouldn't have taken much of his resources. Plus, you're making your own money. So, I don't think you would have gotten much from him, in any other way, right? The point I'm trying to make here is that she's not giving him any credit for the position he put her in or how he supported her. And all he probably wanted was some quiet, romantic, intimate times with her. And she was probably too tired after her long days of shooting YouTube videos, editing videos, buying new equipment, setting things up. I saw all her videos. Her videos were well done. Videos like that take a long time to edit, and she would put out 2 to 3 videos a week. So what would that mean? She was shooting like 2 or 3 days a week, and the other 2 or 3 days she was editing, right? So when did they go out as a couple and have, marriage time or dating time? When did they go on dates? Never. And you're surprised he cheated on you? Not getting no condone cheating, but you're surprised that he cheated on you? Now I'm going to share what I wrote in the comments section and share a few comments. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break and come back and then share another story of a woman I've been talking with. And this woman that I've been talking with the last 3-4 days, we have a good connection and she really likes me and she's attracted to me. I'm attracted to her and everything is great. But there's one thing lacking, which is why I'm probably not going to meet her. We're supposed to meet tomorrow and spend a couple days together, right? And if I go meet her, it's probably going to get intimate. It's probably going to be great, right? But why am I considering and more than likely not going to meet up with her? It involves communication. I'm going to share more about that story when I get back because I'm going to share with you folks how important communication is. Communication is everything. It's everything. Without it, you have nothing. So, let me get to the comments section here. This is what I wrote to Catherine on her blog channel, Catherine Manning Blogs. I wrote so many simps in here. Catherine, with all due respect, how about own up to your part of why it failed? It is funny you divorced him 1 year ago, right when you started making enough of your own money to sustain yourself. How come we never hear you fully own up to your part? This man carried you through your tough times financially and just got tired of not getting any reciprocation, meaning he probably got no nookie, ma'am. When you're married or dating someone, okay, and you're a woman and you're not intimate with your man frequently, it's over. We're going to cheat on you. Now, I'm not going to cheat on you. I'll just leave you, right? But most men will cheat, right? They'll cheat or they'll leave you, right? Sounds like you were in a codependent relationship to me, and after the divorce, you came out ahead. You did come out ahead, man. You probably didn't split any marital assets because they were probably pretty equal, but man, you were in debt $35,000 a year and a half ago, right? And because of your husband's support, even back in the days when he was your boyfriend, financial support, emotional support, etc., right? Right? You were able to do what you did to build up your YouTube channel to where it's at today, your main one, almost 400K subs, and make a six-figure income to now pay off your bills and make more money. Now you want to throw it in his face, right? Now you want to shove it in his face because now maybe you're making more money than him. Who knows, right? But how did you get there, man? Right? And you want to blame him for cheating, right? Which I can understand that. But why did he cheat? Because maybe you weren't balancing your work and your personal life. And this is another thing she mentioned in her video 6 days ago that I just saw today on her blogging channel, Catherine Manning Blogs, right? She goes, I think part of it did have to do with, my work schedule and how much I work. No, ma'am. It had to do completely with that. 100%. One of the biggest issues I've seen in the modern world, which is what causes divorces, breakups, cheating, etc., is men and women not being able to balance their work and their personal time. Some men are guilty of this. But most good men like me, we're able to balance it out because we've always worked, right? Now, in the modern world, working for women is a new thing. It's a new thing past several decades, right? Right? Women have been recently liberated, so now they're out there working and doing something that they never did before, right? And while women used to be phenomenal multitaskers back in the days of traditionalism when they would run the household and take care of the kids and all that stuff, cook, clean, do all that stuff, women have become terrible multitaskers when it comes to balancing their work and their personal life. That's what happened to you, man. You focused so much on trying to make your business successful and pay off your debt that you neglected your husband to the point of where he cheated on you. That's the truth of the matter. And you don't even say anything about that, man. And he helped you, man. He helped you. Yeah, he may have cheated on you a few times, man, but he still cared to help you. He cheated on you because he wasn't getting any from you, man, but he still cared about you. If he didn't care about you, he wouldn't help you reach the level of success you did, man. Please do. I wrote, trust me, you did come out ahead because of how supportive your ex was. Please do a video and take more ownership of what you think he felt was lacking in you. I could tell you that, ma'am. I could tell you, ma'am, that you probably were not as intimate with him or you cut off the sex. That's what happened. With all that time you put into your main channel to get it where it is at today, it certainly took away from the romance. I'm going to read a few comments here before I take my first break, but let me get to the chat first here. Sounds like a pretty toxic relationship. Yeah, it was. It was toxic because they were codependent on each other. She was more dependent on him, right? But she took advantage of him, right? And maybe she wasn't even really that attracted to him, but he had money. And, they probably got together initially and they had some good sex and maybe they connected, right? Right? And she probably led him on for a while. And it got to the point of where she probably cut off the sex. And he went and got it elsewhere. This guy was her meal ticket. This guy was as far as I'm concerned, he's probably a beta mon, beta mon, beta mon, beta mon, beta mon. Yep. That's what happened, Catherine. You were dating a beta mon. He was a provider. You can't even thank him for that. I know why you can't thank him for that, Catherine, because you don't respect him. You never did respect him. But now you've made it in this world on your own, right? And now you're like, let me throw it in his face because he cheated on me, right? Let me put it out there on my channel that my ex cheated on me. Let me make a video on it and create drama views, right? And cry and get sympathy, right? Look at what Queen is saying. She knows. Queen, you know what I'm saying is right, Queen. It's pathetic. So many men are devalued nowadays, and we actually care. We've helped women so much. The more we help women, the more screwed we get, right? That's why guys withdraw nowadays, because we want to help women. We do. That's our nature. But the more we do it, the more screwed over we get. Look what happens. BWA gave me beta mon, tons of beta mons. Yeah, that's true. Not Queen, BWA. He sounds even more beta than the millennial with the cat. I may give you that. But they're both betas. But I may give you that. But at least, he admitted to her that he cheated. And I don't know why he did that. Maybe he did that to try to get her to change and be more intimate and save the marriage. But I think this whole entire time, Catherine's been in control. I think Catherine was wearing the pants in that relationship. And I think now she got what she wanted, and now she's going to present to YouTube and her fans what she wants them to see, not what actually happened. This is the kind of stuff, folks, that really irks me. When you have people that try to come off as extremely genuine, but they leave out half the story because they don't want you to know the bad things that they did, right? Because they want to get all these positive comments from you, right? It's not genuine to me. It's not. So, codependent relationships never last, says BWI Gaming. BWI Gaming, what's worse is when both the woman and man are whining about their problems. What's that old saying, misery loves company? That's true. That's true. Who is this about? Catherine Manning. YouTuber. Almost 400K subs. I've been following her since she had like 30K subs. Years ago. BWI gave me sorry, their correction for the SJW grammar Nazis out there. Okay. Queen Helen Casey, LOL. ENK sound. Okay, I already read that. BWI Gaming says, well, when you let a woman control everything, you are an ultimate beta mon. That's true. It's not about a man or a woman controlling the full thing. It's about equally sharing in the responsibilities. And here's the thing. She had no money. She was in debt. And this dude was still supporting her, right? And now she's complaining that he cheated on her? Ma'am, you withdrew the punani. You withdrew the intimacy. You married him because he was supporting you during a time that you needed his support, or you would not have made it. At least you wouldn't have made it as fast, or you would have ended up back home with your parents, and you didn't want to do that. It's ridiculous. Let me read a few comments here. Let me read how much of a simp these guys are. Here's a woman saying, big loss for him. You're such a hard-working, independent woman who will get far in life and everything happens for a reason. Well, let me tell you something to this person that wrote this. Laura Stang, okay? If this is all that she has, she's dependent on YouTube for income. If she doesn't have another way to make income, this could all be taken away just like that. What's she going to do? Don't get too cocky. Don't get too cocky because what comes up must come down. when you reach success, it can easily go the other way around. Have you heard of cancel culture? It happens. More love. It'd be the lamest dudes who be out here a whole mess. You deserve better anyways. He wasn't up to par anyways. Wasn't up to par. This dude supported her to get to where she's at. She was in debt. Do you folks not pay attention to these people's stories? Or are you just enamored by a cute woman, right? And to be honest, I'm not criticizing her. She's just average looking. She's not even a hot woman. But even average looking women nowadays have simps crawling at them. Amor says, I'm just saying, you a whole 10 out it here. And Catherine was laughing at that. She's not a 10, dude. That's pathetic. Mariella, some woman. Ended my relationship with someone a month ago, and this shit is hard. I feel lonely, but watching this makes me feel like it'll be okay. Well, it makes me wonder, why your relationship ended, man. What's your part in it? There are two sides to everything. You see, these women nowadays don't want to own up to their part on why it didn't work out. And it all pretty much boils down to a lack of communication, right? A lack of communication and a lack of a work/personal life balance. The same reason why women cheat is the same reason why men cheat. There are men that can't balance their work and personal life. They spend too much time at work. They come home from work. They're too tired to be intimate with their wife, right? So when women do the same thing to men, what are they going to do? Same thing. It's cut and dry. Life with Ada Rose. Who could ever cheat? And to cheat on Catherine Manning? Now that is just heartbreaking. Do you even know why the guy cheated? Look at you folks. Catherine didn't even tell you folks the reason why he cheated. She didn't even tell you how their relationship was. Was there a lack of intimacy? Was there a lack of going on dates, going to dinner, going hiking on the weekends, weekend getaway trips? She never once talked about romance in their relationship in any of her videos. It was all about her, and growing her YouTube channel and her stats and making money. It was never about him. And also when I get back, I want to share, before I get to the other story, how my relationship with Dana was different. Now she still broke up with me, but she broke up with me for a different reason. How did I balance this out when I first started YouTube on my former channel 4 years ago while I was dating my ex? What was the difference between myself and Catherine? I'll get to that after the break, but let me read a few more comments here. Hey, Lewis, good morning. How you doing, bro? BWI Gaming says, poo what? LMAO. EMK says, beta males like to be controlled and taken advantage of. Yep. And they'll do it with no punani. You know what the punani is, bro? Punani is the lower region of a woman. The promised land for a man, right? EMK, beta males like to be controlled and taken advantage of. Oh, boy. Oh, never mind. I get it. You know what that is, BWIA Gaming. BWIA Gaming furthermore says, at EMK, then they try to act like others doing the same thing are in the wrong. It's ironic. EMK says, yup, true. Lewis Fuller, good morning. Good morning, Lewis. Queen says, hello, Lewis. BWI Gaming says, someone wants a piece of that action, Eli. That's why they are commenting that way. Yeah, that's called being a simp. All these dudes are simping to her, right? These dudes are beta mons. They don't understand what happened. Heck, she probably doesn't even understand what happened. And even if she does, she's choosing not to disclose it because she doesn't want to put that out publicly, right? She wants people to feel like her man was the worst dude on the planet, right? Right? That's ridiculous. All right. One dude says, his name is Ren Lesson. After a breakdown comes a breakthrough. Okay, well, she had a breakdown. That's great. She's still not owning up to what she did. It's Nama, some women. Damn, it's his loss. Look at you shining at everything you touch. Keep glowing and growing. Why is she shining? I'm not saying she's not capable of doing the work, but it takes money and time and support to take a YouTube channel to the level that she did. Without his financial resources, she would have never got there. He supported her. He got her there. And once she got there, she started to withdraw. As she was getting closer there, she probably started to withdraw the intimacy because she realized, now I'm getting successful on my own. I don't need him anymore, right? She flat out used this guy. Used him. I can't stay long, says Lewis. No problem. BWI Gaming says, have a good day at Lewis Fuller. Okay. Thanks for stopping by, Lewis. Shania, those Instagram stories are proof that you never know what someone's going through. This infinite life. I'm watching this with my daughters because your strength needs to be shared. We adore you. Well, it's one thing to show strength. It's another thing to own up to your part of what happened. This is the kind of stuff that some YouTubers do. They put up a front and they only tell you what they want to tell you. They don't tell you the truth, right? Now, I understand, sharing some personal things. You should, try to keep your privacy, right? But if she's going to come out and mention the fact that her ex cheated on her and not own up to, her part on why she feels he did it, right? I can't respect that. I'm not saying she should forgive him. Cheating is cheating. I get that. But what was your part, Catherine, in the demise of the relationship? Men just don't check out and cheat like that. You got to give us a reason to do it, right? What was the reason? I know what the reason was. You got caught up in your work all day, every day, and you checked out of your marriage. You checked out of your relationship, right? And this dude was being beta, and he was trying to support you. He was trying to give you what you wanted, and you kept on probably getting mad. You were probably aloof. You probably just ignored him, right? And did your own thing. And now you're blaming him for cheating on you? Marie Unka writes, this is way more interesting than TV, man. Or Netflix, LMFAO. Love your shit, girl. Honestly, I mean. You are so freaking strong. Love how you're like talking to yourself and then seeing who you are now. You are so strong and amazing. Listen, I don't want to kick Catherine Manning down. I think she's learning. I think she has a long way to go. She's reached success. But in order to maintain it, she's going to have to get stronger, right? Okay? And I don't really think she's as strong as you folks are making her, sound. Respectfully. You know how I'm saying that? Because when a woman comes on to a camera and starts to cry and starts to say, you know what? I at first I thought I wasn't gonna be able to afford this, but now I can afford this. And now I got this, right? You can see her getting angry, right? Someone that's really strong is not going to get angry, okay? Someone that is strong is just going to be like, hey, you know what? It didn't work out. Yes, he cheated on me. I don't condone that, but I checked out a long time ago, right? She's not telling you folks the truth. As a matter of fact, I should do a full-blown video on this, like a reaction video on my secondary channel, and tag her in it. Because this is the kind of stuff, folks, that we really need to see. It almost makes me feel like this video was more so done for like drama YouTube views, for like attention on YouTube. And it's really sad because the people that are following her are believing it's completely authentic. Katrina A., I just love the fact that I love the fact you're eating popcorn, rewatching one of the worst days of your life. Glad you're at this point with the situation. In the video, she was actually watching, certain videos she recorded during that time that she didn't put out publicly. Why didn't she do it publicly? Because she didn't want people to know the truth at that time. She didn't even want people to know that her ex cheated on her, right? Right? Because maybe the truth of the matter is didn't really bother her as much. But now a year later, she's like, okay, what can I talk about that makes things spicy and will get attention to my new vlogging channel, right? This video, after 6 days on her channel with 15K subs, that's 29,000 views. 29,000 views. Wow. Joel X says, I wonder if he ever watches these and is like, shit, look at the life I could have had with this beautiful person. Are you out of your mind, dude? He gave her this life. He supported her. He was a beta mod. He was a beta mod who supported her. She got to where she needed to get to. And once she got there, it was over, right? That's why he cheated on her. Because she withdrew. Because the guy gave her everything and she lost respect for him. And as she was building her business, the closer and closer she got to the point of where she could sustain life on her own, the more she withdrew. She didn't need him anymore. She never felt it for him in the first place. Why do these people not see it? BWY gave me, people hate the truth, Eli. That's why they get triggered when you say it. I know. I'll call you on the truth every time. Here's another guy here, the simp, Gearhead 704. I can't imagine how hard that was, but look how much you've transformed yourself in that year, and it's amazing to see the strength and growth. It's a front, dude. It's a front. She's putting up a front. Either putting up a front or she's amping it up for traction on YouTube. You guys think this is real? Come on. Who are you kidding here? I'm so sorry you had to go through that, but I'm so happy for you, living your best life now and inspiring us. P.S. I'm the same with cops, but I've usually been doing some spirited driving and hope they didn't see me. Okay, that guy's kind of weird. Ali Gomez says, I've watched the whole video. Didn't even notice it was 36 minutes long. I've also been cheated on a month ago, and this video helped me face my own feelings about what happened. Thank you for this, Catherine. I hope you get everything that you deserve in this world. She got more than she deserved from her ex. She paid off $35,000, $36,000 in debt and was supported to generate a six-figure business at his expense. At his expense financially, mentally, and emotionally. He got nothing in return for it financially, physically, probably nothing, and mentally, it was probably driving him insane. And this man supported this woman to get to where she's at today. Oh, my sister would love to have meeting, says Lewis Fuller. Okay, let's do it soon, Lewis. BWY Gaming, I hate when people use others for clout. It makes me nauseated. EMK says, LOL, a woman is always strong. She's always the victim. And that makes her strong because she's going through so much as opposed to the evil men who duped her, right? Dude, she got everything she wanted and she's still not satisfied. And she's still not owning up to it. She will never, ever, ever give him credit because it'll make her look bad publicly. It'll destroy her business. I can't respect someone like that. I can't. I cannot. As a matter of fact, I've lost a lot of respect for you, Catherine. I'm just being honest with you. I'm an honest guy. I'm not attacking you. I am criticizing you, but you're coming out and putting out your life story and you're making it sound in a way where people are gonna have sympathy for you, but they still don't know what you've done. You've never once said your part, Catherine. Lady Rebecca, I know this is weird coming from a random stranger on the internet, but I'm so proud of you. You've grown so much, and it seems like you know yourself so much better than you did a year ago. You're awesome. Sure, she does. She has a long way to go, though. She needs to start owning up to her own mistakes, which is what I'm trying to say, and maybe at that point, I'll start, regaining some respect. Laura Lee, wow, the difference in you is crazy. You are thriving alone. I hope you find that the person that treats you the way you should be treated. Look at all these ladies here enabling this behavior, backing her up, validating the fact that, oh, you're so strong, girl. You good for you. You got cheated on. You didn't let it wreck you, and now you're successful, right? But they're still not talking about how she got successful. This stuff triggers me. It does. This triggers me. It does. Josh is a guy here. I didn't realize you were doing it today, and I've missed the comment window, so I'm going to leave you one anyway. Maybe you'll see it. Thank you for being so brave, and thank you for being the person that you are now. And here's the best possible feature, I think he meant future, that you continue to have. You're the best, Catherine. Another simp. And looks like this is a guy with his woman in the picture there. REG, the progress you've made in a year is so inspiring. Sure, she's made progress. How did she get there in the first place? How was she able to even get to the point where she's at? And no, it's like you said, you didn't or don't know the information before the breakup. So as that being said, you had to go through a struggle to be fine. It's how I think of it. What struggle? What struggle did she go through? She probably told him that she wanted lots of space to run her business while he was footing the bill. You folks have no idea what happened behind the scenes in that household. You only see what she's putting on the front line. This is the kind of stuff I can't stand. And you have all these women nowadays running channels like this and running social media outlets like this, and they're all phony and fraudulent, and they're making lots of money. And here I am, a guy that speaks of the truth, and I have to struggle to make ends meet. Come on. That's why this stuff triggers me. Liz VR, it breaks my heart to see you like that. I just want to hug past Catherine and tell her it's going to be okay. I'm still so angry that he waited until you guys were married to tell you. It's been amazing to see you grow on a personal level. You've inspired me to try and tackle some DIY stuff I want to do in my office on my own instead of instantly asking my partner to do it for me. Haha. It sounds so silly now that I used to need him to do it for me. I know how to use a drill now. How did you learn how to use that drill? See, look at all these women here devaluing men and masculinity. Look at this. Look at what we're turning into here. We don't want to give men credit for anything nowadays. We want to use men to learn how to do it on our own and then kick them to the curb and blame them for everything along the way or afterwards. I'm enthralled. I am. EMK says she is the victim. No, she's playing the victim. BWI Gaming says a lot of times no one sees the other side of things in issues like this. They don't want to see it. Women don't want to see that nowadays. They don't. Because they're very selfish. Most of them. They're very selfish. EMK says that's what many women, not all, do. They are irrational and illogical, purely emotional and often narcissistic as well, because when they validate her, they indirectly validate themselves. Right, they all validate each other. They all stick together. These women want everything from their man, and they don't want to give anything. That's why I'm still single. I'm not going to deal with a woman like that. Ellen Bransitter. I'm so freaking proud of you. You started sharing this when I was going through my breakup. I kept the dog too, LOL, and watching you absolutely thrive as a single woman and dog mom and content creator has been a very welcome constant in my life through your weekly videos as my own gets uprooted and remade. Love you, Kat. Another woman validating something that's a bad behavior. You ladies are validating each other and kicking the man down that supported you through all of this. Shame on you. Shame the man, right? Take all the credit, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't take any credit, Catherine. You did a lot of hard work, but you're giving him no credit, and without him, you would have never gotten here. At least it would have taken you a lot longer on your own, and you might have had to file bankruptcy if it wasn't for him. He saved your ass, Catherine. This guy's probably watching this and saying, wow. Wow, okay. Well, if he's a beta, he doesn't understand if he's a beta, but if he's not a beta, he'll understand what's going on. Some dude named Fish and Trips. Well, I was about to drink a Coke, but it looks like I'll be drinking tea instead. That's hilarious, dude. The Hangry Woman says, this is required watching for any woman who feels like they can't be on their own after something so hard. Time heals. And as crappy as it was that he did all of this to you, look at you, amazing as ever. Thanks for sharing these moments with us, even when it is painful. Have you ladies ever thought of asking her how she was in the relationship? What did she do in the relationship? How did she contribute to her man? All you're doing is sympathizing with her and allowing her to play the role of the victim for being cheated on. But why was she cheated on? What was her role? What did she give to the relationship? Before you're going to blame this dude and feel sorry for her, why don't you ask her, what did she do? Or does it not matter? Morgan, you're so strong. You truly are an inspiration, Catherine. Gerald, Simp Gerald. I so love your now comments on your then video, and looking at your now reactions is heartbreaking. You look like you want to reach out to then you and tell her that everything is going to be fine. It's going to take some work and parts are going to be hard emotionally. This guy can't write. She needs to know everything going to be. Dude, you're a simp. You're a beta mon, dude. It's guys like you that enable this type of behavior. It's guys like you that enable this type of behavior, bro. I'm going to read one more here. And then I'm going to take a break and move on. Jennifer Vlogs writes, I'm at this point right now in my relationship, not cheating, but that he's not happy and we have a kid together. And I actually uploaded 2 videos on YouTube, but they're not edited or anything. But I felt the urge to upload. This is a run-on sentence, man. But I felt the urge to upload. It just went and break down. So I'm this similar situation, and we literally just moved into an apartment. And this is all how I'm feeling now. We're not broken up, but I'm going through it and feel so alone. I try to hold it together for my 2 daughters. Right. You're probably getting, you guys aren't probably sleeping together. There's no romance. There's no going to dinner dates or hiking dates or weekend getaways. There's no romance. Why? Because you lost communication. And when you were getting to know each other, you weren't communicating enough to learn enough about each other to see if you're compatible enough for each other. This is what happens. This is what happens. People rush into things and they don't get to know each other. This is what happens, right? This is the importance of communication. You've got to communicate regularly, and if something is not right, you either work through it or you move on. You don't squash it under the table, right? BWI Gaming says, this is just an example, but I have heard many women say we have to support her because she is a woman, but I never do that. I have to see both sides of a coin. Right. Validation-seeking behavior. When she did this video, she was seeking validation and attention and views and monetized playbacks, right? EMK says, after a breakup, the woman gets all the sympathy from the woman as well as the men. It's almost always like that. Well, the beta men, she won't get sympathy from me at all. Now, if she shared her part of what caused this, I would respect her, but she won't get sympathy from me. No, not after she got everything. She got everything here. She's the winner here. Her husband, ex-husband, is the one that lost big time. But he's probably a beta. So it's probably a lesson learned for him, right? This Jennifer Vlogs furthermore says, I'm trying to start a YouTube channel just because I'm really interested and I want to create videos. So thank you for uploading this because I'm going through it all right now. Now, here's the thing, folks. If we keep going this way in this modern world where, we keep blaming the man for everything and we keep on giving women the victory when they don't deserve it. Listen, I'm all for equality, right? I'm all for men and women being equal. Just like, women say they want to be equal to men. That's what they fought for, right? But it's not equal. It's not. It's not equal. It's not, right? Men are being blamed even when we have the best intentions and try to do the right things. We're being blamed for everything. When in reality, we are the ones that helped you get to where you're at today because we actually care. There are a lot of good men in this world that do care about helping women reach success. But a lot of men don't do it anymore nowadays because we get screwed every time. We get used. You pretend to be with us, give us a little sex in the beginning, and then you withdraw the sex, right? And then you dangle the carrot saying, if you help me with this, I'll reward you, right? A man like me, with my experience, would never put up with that. A beta male, you're going to string him along for a while, right? He's going to do everything for you. You're going to get to where you want to get to. Once you get there, you're going to leave him. Then you're going to blame him for the breakup when in essence, you don't want to admit you used him. Catherine, you used your ex-man to get ahead in life. That's the truth of the matter. I'd like to see you have the courage and guts and come out and admit the truth. All right, folks. That story took a lot out of me. An hour and 12 minutes. And the YouTube live streaming server has been great. There have been no issues. How does the audio and video look today? I did some tweaking, some really good tweaking with my video. My video should be very super clear today. It should be better than it's been. And do you folks like the background today? Let me know about that. Anyway, let me queue up some royalty-free YouTube music. I need to queue up some long songs. I need to refill my coffee and use the restroom. So let me find these songs here real quick. All right, those should be long enough. Let me see. All right, folks, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away and thank you, Queen. She says you're good. Unfortunately, justice is blind. Yep. I'm going to step away for probably about a 10-minute break, maybe a little less than 10-minute break. When we return, I'm going to share how it was different when I used to run my former channel with my ex Dana compared to what Catherine Manning went through. And then I'm going to share a story of a woman that I've been talking to for the last 4 days that wants to meet up with me and wants to spend a couple days with me, and I could probably get some good sex, and I could probably turn this into something. But I'm thinking more than likely I'm not going to even meet up with her and probably ghost her because of a lack of communication. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that especially after what I just said. How could there be a lack of communication when the woman practically wants to get together with you, be intimate with you, and have a relationship with you, right? Well, I'll share with you what's turning me off when I get back from the break. So stick around. We'll be right back. Yeah, we're back, and we're just gonna scratch it and get back down to business, so scratch it. Yeah. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube and also simulcasting live on Facebook. Have I checked over on Facebook? And we're looking good on Facebook. Glad you all joined me here today on this Thursday. Today we're discussing the importance of communication in personal and professional relationships. And during the first part of the show, if you missed it, go back and check out the replay. I was discussing a pretty prominent YouTube content creator by the name of Catherine Manning. She used to go by the Content Bug. And she was discussing on her secondary channel, Catherine Manning Blogs, her story on her husband, her ex-husband, cheating on her and sharing that story with her or sharing that information with her 1 month after they moved into their new home, like last year. And it was quite interesting because I really feel that there was a lot of lack of communication in that relationship that could have made things better. I really think that the story that Catherine presented was shared in a way that was going to get her a certain type of response and get her more views and, sympathy and all that type of stuff. And it really saddens me because that's the way this world has gone nowadays with women in this crazy modern world we live in of, women now being liberated, which is great. Women being liberated is great. I've always said that. Women having equal rights is great. But now it's like it's flipped to the point of where women play the role of the victim and everything, and they don't want to own up to any mistakes that they make. They just blame everything on the man, even if the man was one of the primary reasons why they reached success. There's nothing wrong for women creating success. There's also nothing wrong with a man helping a woman reach success. That's what a good man does. But why do we shame the men nowadays and give women all the credit and, allow this behavior to just further be enabled? In this way, it just really saddens me. It really, really saddens me. And I want to start off the second part of the show before I get into my story regarding my ex and I running my former YouTube channel and how we handled that and how we balanced out that and our relationship and working and doing all that stuff, right? Compared to, how I feel Catherine and her ex failed at it. And then I'm going to get into a story regarding a woman I'm currently been talking with for about 4 days, that really wants to meet me, and she really feels a good connection, and there could be something great happening. But I'm probably going to choose to not meet her, even though it's practically a sure thing. I'm turning down a sure thing, right? I'm turning down a sure thing pretty much that most guys would call. And most guys would say, that's stupid to turn down a sure thing, Eli. No, it's not, because I know what I want, and I don't want to waste my time or take advantage of a woman that I think is a good woman, but she's lacking in something that's extremely important to me and I feel is extremely important in general. BWYA Gaming says, EMK, first of all, says, that's very good. Wish more women were like that. Yeah, I hear you, EMK. BWYA Gaming says they are not strong. They need to have validation. These people who get on soapboxes about stuff that doesn't matter all need the drama and validation to make themselves feel better. Right. And then good guys like me that speak the truth and can really help people, have a hard time growing a channel because we're not going to stoop to that level to get somewhere, right? Furthermore, BWYA Gaming says, for the fact that they have no one that wants to be part of their whining and drama. Right. The reason why women, BWYA Gaming, can get away with it is because 97% of the men in this world, like I keep saying, are thirsty beta males that will give them attention. And these guys will do anything to get with any of these women if they're semi-cute even the ones that aren't that cute. These guys will do anything to have a chance with any woman. And that's just really sad. That's the way this world has gone now. I'm trying to help men understand this. I'm even trying to help women understand this. It's just going to take a lot of time, and it's not going to be solved, during my lifetime. But I'm going to do what I can with what I got. I'm watching the Dilly Show on Facebook. Oh, cool, Queen. No worries. Come and go as you wish. So I want to share something I was thinking about before I went live today. And, communication's always been important, folks. And it used to be back in the days of traditionalism that women were better conversationalists than men. Men would go out, bring home the bacon. They would, provide for the family, and the woman would be the one that would arrange, the dinners, the parties, all the other stuff, right? The women were great at communicating back in the days of traditionalism. Now in the modern world, women still want a man to be communicative. And they despise men that can't communicate their feelings or communicate in general, right? Or lack social skills. But they themselves, women, are lacking at communication as well. And so, it's really hard to connect with somebody in a relationship if they aren't able to carry a conversation, if they're emotionally closed off and they're not, and they're afraid to express how they actually feel. How are you going to bond with somebody if they fear expressing how they feel so you get an idea of who they are? I've been dealing with a lot of women like that lately. I'm going to share a story of one here in a second. I don't think she's closed off emotionally, but there's something that is preventing her from being a good communicator, where everything else that she has to bring to the table is good, right? But first, let me share the story about my ex Dana and I running my former YouTube channel. If you're new here and you haven't heard this story, I used to run a former channel a little over 4 years ago that I shut down about 2.5 years ago after my ex, my girlfriend at the time, who's now my ex, Dana, broke up with me. She didn't break up with me because I couldn't balance my work and my personal life and all that. She broke up with me because I got caught up in endless nonsensical drama out here on YouTube, and I couldn't ignore these people. I kept feeding into them. They kept attacking me. They would attack her. Both her and I put our real names out there and showed our real face, and it just made it difficult on her, right? That's the reason why she broke up with me. But let's forget about that, because what I really want to share is when her and I were together for the 1.5 years or so we were together, and I was running my YouTube channel, a similar one like this one, I put in the same amount of time and effort into it. So how did that affect my relationship? It didn't affect it at all. The actual work part of it didn't affect it at all because I got my girlfriend involved in it, right? I went to her right when I started my channel and I said, babe, I'm thinking about starting the YouTube channel. I want to further my coaching business. I want to do more than podcasting. What are your thoughts about that? She's like, that's great, right? I was going to do it regardless, but you always want to communicate, right? How would you like to join me on this? We could do some videos together. You're a child development expert. Maybe you could share some tips regarding that, and I can help you start a channel down the road. She's like, that's great, right? So Dana and I, would spend weekends together, and I would record my videos during the week. I did more pre-recorded videos back then, some live streams, but I would do all that stuff during the week, Monday through Fridays, when I didn't see her. And I would have nights and weekends off. Now, sometimes I'd go see her on the weeknights, and I had, time to go see her, and I, made the time because I really enjoyed her company and she enjoyed mine. And on the weekends, I would record videos with her. We created a series called Car Chat and Bedroom Chat, which was quite popular back then. Okay. And so it did not affect us one bit because we would record these videos like on a Sunday night before going to bed. Took 20, 30 minutes, right? And then on Monday mornings, I would, stick around at her place until the afternoon. I would edit the video, and then I would, go back to my place and upload it. But it did not affect our relationship in that way. It did not, me doing my YouTube channel, the time that I put into it did not affect our relationship because I would do it during times where she was busy doing her thing. Her and I were very well balanced between our work and our personal life. Again, what killed our relationship was the fact that we were getting trolled on YouTube, and I kept feeding into it, and I didn't know how to handle it as well as I know how to handle it today, which is what I'm trying to say. Okay? And here's the thing. Like I said before, I'll say it again. Even while I was doing all of this and putting all the effort to grow my channel, which is what I'm trying to say, the intimacy never died down. Her and I were intimate all the time. We would go away on hiking trips every weekend. Sometimes we would go out of town. We had a relationship. We would go out to dinner. When I would come up on Friday nights, I would always look forward to taking her to a different restaurant for dinner. Right? Saturdays, we would, go hiking somewhere or biking, right? Sundays, we would end up doing the same thing. And then, Monday, in the afternoon, I would head back home and then I would work on my stuff, right? I balanced it out. I did not neglect my relationship, but I also did not neglect my business. I figured out how to balance it out. Folks, when you really care about someone and at the same time you also love what you do, you're going to be able to balance it out and make both things work. And you're going to find the right balance to give you the right amount of energy, to get the right amount of sleep so you make it work, right? When things start to go south in a relationship, right, it's typically because there was no chemistry to begin with, right? Okay? Or somebody's more focused on themselves, or they're still trying to work on themselves and build themselves up and get over, a depressed state or something like that. Like Catherine, I believe, was going through depression, right? And maybe she's still kind of dealing with it, but she's gotten a lot better. But her boyfriend should have known that. And he probably did know that, but he still chose to be with her because he's probably a beta man, right? If we go back to the Catherine story, the Catherine Manning story, right? The truth of the matter is they just weren't meant to be together from the very beginning, right? If two people are meant to be together, they're going to be great teammates and they're going to find ways to balance each other's work and personal life to make their relationship work. I remember there were times where, my ex, Dana, would, like on a Monday when, she had her in-home daycare and she would put the kids to sleep. There's a specific room for that. And then she would come hang out with me for just, 20 minutes or so. She had baby monitors and all that. And I would just, when she would come up while I was working in the bedroom, starting to edit the video that we had made for that weekend, I would just start kissing her and get intimate with her right there. I would pull the drawers and put her down on the bed, and she loved it because I really cared about her. I really enjoyed being with her. I was really into her. That's what it takes to make a relationship work. And if you really want a relationship, if you really want a relationship as a man or a woman, you have to go into it knowing what you want. You have to better qualify your prospects. And you can't be fazed by a man's or a woman's beauty. You can't get with someone just because you think they're hot and you want to have sex with them. You can't do that You got to get to know people, right? And look, hey, if you meet someone, let's say you have sex the first or second night, and after that doesn't feel right, don't push it just because the sex was good. If it doesn't feel right outside of that, then you got to move on because it's only going to create issues down the road. You have to better qualify your prospects. I did a stream on that earlier on, in the week. Or last week, I think it was. Well, over the last 7 days, I did that stream. Check it out. Better qualify your prospects. It's going to save you a lot of headache and heartache in the end. So that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it, folks. It is possible. If you can make anything possible that you want, and if you're not a selfish person, you can make anything work. I honestly think, going back to Catherine, all she wanted to do was find a way to make it on her own. And she was going to do whatever it takes to get there. Now, I can't sit here and tell you if from the very beginning when she met her man that this is what was going to happen. But once she realized that, once she was with him and she realized that there's really no spark there anymore, but this guy has resources that can take care of me until I get on my own 2 feet, until I'm able to stand on my own 2 feet, I want to stick around, right? Come on now. I've seen many women do this. Some guys do it to women that make more money than them, but primarily it happens to men. Women do this to men. It's just sad. And then she comes out on YouTube and plays the role of the victim and cries and gets sympathy comments and views. And I don't want to talk about that anymore. BWYA Gaming with the $3 super sticker. Thank you. She says thumbs up for that. Big round of applause for you, BWYA Gaming. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to get to the story now of this woman that I did kind of share it on the stream I tried to do overnight earlier. That's now been deleted. So I'm going to share it again now. And this is very interesting. And a lot of guys might say, dude, you have a sure thing. You should just go and hit that. And if nothing else, so be it. At least you get some, right? Well, I'm not that type of guy. And this woman lives an hour and a half away, which is not a problem because let me just start from the beginning. I met this woman through Bumble, like 4 days, 3-4 days. It was like 4 days ago, right? And, I swiped right. She swiped right. And we connected. And on Bumble, women message you first. So she messaged me, right? And she really liked my profile because on Bumble, you can write a small profile, but you can write enough to give someone an idea of who you are and how good of a person you are and what you're seeking, right? Something genuine, right? So she liked my profile. And so we messaged back and forth on the app just for a little bit, and then we exchanged numbers to talk by phone. And basically, I was asking her a few things. This woman is 5'10". She's an attractive woman. She's not super hot, but she's cute. She's a good-looking, decent-looking woman. 5'10". I'd probably say she's probably about 150 pounds, maybe 155. She's not fat, but not super skinny. I mean, she's proportioned, little thick, but nice, right? Right? She's attractive, not to the point of where, I mean, I am sexually attracted to her, and she's an attractive woman. I think you get the point. Done with the dilly show, says Queen. All right, welcome back, Queen. And so when we talked the first night, I was asking her, well, I'm 5'10", same height as you. Are you cool with that? And I have a shaved head. I always ask, the deal breakers that many women have, right? She's like, height doesn't matter to me. What matters is what's on the inside. And your bald head is sexy. And she started paying me a lot of compliments. And we just had a great conversation, right? It was a decent conversation. And she felt really connected to the point of where she wanted to meet. And I'm like, okay, let's talk throughout the rest of the week. And then, we can make some plans over the weekend if you'd like. So The next day came. This was a couple of days ago. And we had our second phone conversation. During our second phone conversation, it was also pretty good. We talked a lot about her daughter. We talked about her being in, an unsuccessful marriage. She was married twice. Her first marriage is where I think she had 2 kids. And we were talking about her daughter, who's, I think this woman's like, she's 51. I think her daughter is like 27. And she's in college, and she was dating this one guy for 5 years, but it didn't work out because, he wanted to play PlayStation all day. And like, oh, here we go. Here we go. Her daughter was the breadwinner in the relationship. She went to college, got a degree, met a guy that was subpar. The sexual polarity was flipped. And I said, your daughter kind of sounds like a pretty strong, independent woman, like the modern day woman. We got on the topic of feminism and all that stuff, right? And she was cool having that conversation because it was enlightening her. But this woman, completely submissive, very submissive woman, right? But her daughter, being raised up in the modern world of feminism and radical feminism, and being raised in the world, like I've said in the past, where, women are being told to go to school. They're told to focus on an education first, and then family later. Okay, so you got this woman. She's this woman's daughter. She's 27 years old, and she broke up with her boyfriend. And now she says, "I don't need a man for anything, and I don't want to be with a man. I just want to focus on myself." Wow, great, right? So hearing that story, I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. I'm not going to, hold her daughter's behavior against her because, hey, it's not her. And that's how a lot of women are being raised through the system. It wasn't her mother that raised her to be that way. It was the system that indoctrinated her to be that way, right? So I'm having a conversation with this woman between the day before yesterday, the second conversation, and then the third conversation we had was last night. And the more and more we started talking, and the more and more that she started to like me, and we started making plans. We made plans for me to come up to her area, an hour and a half north of where I live. Nice little town, some nice hotel rooms. I was going to get a hotel suite Friday night, Saturday night, and she was going to come stay with me. We just felt a good connection. I think she's a good woman. She's attractive. She's a good woman, and she seems to be a trustworthy woman. But I'm probably not gonna go through with this. And here's the reason why. Her communication, while she's, how do I say this the right way? When it comes to her reaching out and keeping in touch, right? She's good at that. She has been texting me every day, not overly texting, but in the daytime, afternoon, evening, and then we talk by phone. So she's communicative in that way. But once we get on the phone, like when we got on the phone last night, for every word that she said, I said like 300 words. A 300-to-1 ratio, right? And communication, to me, a two-way flow of constant communication is important to me. If I'm going to be with a woman that's only going to say one word for every Right. All right. We should be back live on YouTube. Let me just make sure that we are rolling. All right, we should be back live on YouTube. Okay, we are back live on YouTube. We are no longer live on Facebook because Facebook doesn't do something that YouTube does. Facebook allows you to keep the stream going if there's a cutout, but they limit you to, like, if you don't start streaming again within like 4 or 5 minutes after your stream goes down, or if you have to restart, they just cut off your stream. You can't even restart it. On YouTube, they give you like 12 hours. I have to manually stop the stream. So, on Facebook, you can't do that. So unfortunately, this stream on Facebook has been put to private, and it's just going to be available on YouTube. But can you folks hear me clearly and see me clearly? Things seem to be rolling quite well. And interestingly enough, this has just not been a good day. Sometimes these days happen. The Quora article that I was going to dissect is now saying 502 bad gateway. Quora is temporarily unavailable. Please wait a few minutes and try again. Well, once I get through this story here, if the Quora website is not back up by then, I'm just going to kill the stream and do it another time. I mean, folks, it's technology and things happen. What happened that cut out my audio? Well, I hit my microphone, the pop filter, and it's a USB microphone, and there's a USB cable at the bottom of the Blue Yeti microphone. And that USB cable is very delicate. If you just barely even tap it, it will cut out the audio. And even if you plug it back in, it basically ruins your sound driver to the point of where you have to restart your computer in order to get it to work again. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. So let's just continue with the story here, and we'll see if the Quora article pops back up. If not, we're going to wrap this up in about 10 minutes or so. So, yeah. Got it, Queen. Oh, man. Some people never learn, Queen. You know what I'm saying? So I believe I was at the point where I was, sharing about this conversation I was having with this woman where for every, word I would say, for every word she would say, I'd say 300 words. Like, I would ask her questions and she would respond, but say 1 or 2 words, and she would pause after I would ask the question, and it just seemed rather odd to me. And I kept telling her, I'm like, are you okay? Are you a little bit shy? Are you a little bit timid or anything? No, I just, I'm better in person, and, I'm more about showing how I feel someone than saying it and all this and that. So I started asking her some questions to try to stir up the conversation. I was beginning to test her. And I started asking her questions about her marriages because I really wanted to see, what was going on. She had told me that, in some previous conversations that she got divorced a few years ago, and she basically, was not in the greatest financial situation. And she basically ended up, moving into an apartment that's detached on the same property as her sister's home. And her sister was renting out that apartment to somebody else, but basically kicked out that tenant and allowed her sister to move in after her divorce. Now, so I started to, I wanted to see what's really going on with this woman here. She seems like a good woman. Like I said, she's attractive. She's tall, 5'10", looks good. Is really nice, is really super nice. Like, she's been super nice to me, like just way too nice. And I really wanted to see, what was going on. So I asked her, about her second marriage. Her first marriage is where she had her kids with, and I believe, that's, I was talking about her daughter before I got cut off a bit ago, her 27-year-old daughter. And the second marriage was a guy that she was with for 17 years. And, she said that everything was great up until the last year. I said, well, what happened? She goes, well, I quit my job. And when I quit my job, I don't think he really liked that. I wasn't too happy at my job, and I was trying to find something else. And then he went and got this other job that kept him out of town most of the time. And I believe he found somebody, and he cheated on me with somebody, and that is that. And I was listening to that, and then I started to put two and two together and see what was bothering me about her when she seems like a decent person, right? Like I said, she's attractive. She's 5'10". She looks good. She is communicative from the standpoint of reaching out through text messages in the mornings, afternoons, evenings, and then she likes to talk at night. But when we talk on the phone, like I said, she says very few words. She says very few words. And taking that into consideration and hearing what happened, with her marriage in the last year, what I assumed happened was that there wasn't communication happening in the marriage. Like, she doesn't talk a lot. She just likes to hang out with her partner and, snuggle up and be intimate and just go to work and do her thing. And that's that. And I got to tell you, folks, to me, one of the most attractive qualities of a woman that make me want to be intimate with her, okay, even if she's very, very sexy, is her communication skills. I want to hear what she has to say. I want her to intrigue me as much as I'm intriguing her. And the only way she's going to do that, by phone is with her words, right? And I also felt like I was giving more than I was getting in the conversation. I felt like she was taking more than giving in the conversation. Everything else was fine. She wants to meet up. She, wants to stay with me on Friday night and Saturday night and, snuggle up and go and, go hiking the next day. And she really feels a good connection. But when I ask her questions about whatever it is I'm talking about, she pauses for, 5 or 10 or 15 seconds after I ask the question. And then it makes me say, are you there? Are you there? She's like, yeah, I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking. And then she responds with a few words and pretty much responds in ways that just kind of restate the question, right? Not really answering what I was asking. It really made me wonder, what headspace is this woman in? And she had told me on the conversation last night that, her family drives her crazy. Her family, wants her to get a better job that pays her, that gets her benefits and stuff. And she is temporarily working, I guess, for a casino or something, like she was telling me, but she wants to be a nanny. She's been a nanny before. She loves being a nanny. And, the thing that her sister and her family doesn't like about that is that doesn't pay her any benefits. Maybe she don't want to answer certain questions. I don't think it's that, Queen. She's not closed off. She's not closed off. It's just that I think she has difficulty in communicating things, or if she's really into a guy, I think she feels that if she says the wrong thing, that it'll eliminate her, because this woman's been way, way, way too nice to me, way too compliant with everything. She's willing to meet with me and stay with me in a hotel room for 2 nights, which that's not a problem as long as it's, we both feel comfortable. But she hasn't actually put up any resistance at all. And what that's telling me is that, she's tried to make it work with many guys, and she's failed for the same reason. And she's probably trying to not say something that is going to get her eliminated for the same reason she's been eliminated in the past. So at the end of the day, what I think is really happening here is a 51-year-old woman that is still trying to build herself. And she's unhappy living on the property of her, sister's home in a separate apartment. She is paying rent. She's probably getting reduced rent. I did ask her, so are you not allowed to have guests there because it's your sister's property? She said, well, I'm not allowed to bring any guys over here until after I get to know them and introduce them to my sister, and she has to approve that. So you take all of that there. This is a 51-year-old woman that is trying really hard to make something work with me. And then all of these things kept coming up, and they're just red flags. It's just one red flag after the other. Now, I could, if I wanted to, go and spend a couple of days with her, probably have some great sex with her, go on a hike with her, and have fun with her, and then never see her again. And it would just be a weekend of fun, right? And that's what many guys would say. But quite honestly, I would not enjoy that. I don't want to, meet up with a woman just for something temporary, especially drive an hour and a half for something temporary. So, give me a second here. Oh. Give me a second here. Hey, Paul, how are you doing? Unless you want to get a DMCA copyright takedown notice, you will stop restreaming me immediately. I haven't talked about you in ages. I don't talk about that side at all. So, Paul, kill your stream or get a copyright strike and not be able to stream. There you go. That's a smart move there, Paul. That's a smart move there, Paul. Good for you, Paul. Why does that guy even care? I don't understand. I haven't talked about that guy in ages, and he decides to simulcast me. These people, they can do whatever they want to do. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, so just too many red flags with this woman. I think she's just unhappy about her life. She's unhappy about her living situation. I mean, she works, she makes money, she pays her own rent, she does this whole thing, but it's just too many red flags. It's just too many red flags. And I'm not the type of guy that's going to take advantage of a woman just to get some sex, over this holiday weekend. I'm just going to move forward. I'm just going to let her go. Unfortunately, I think it would be too painful to tell her directly. I don't want to hurt her or anything. I'm just going to do what everyone does nowadays. I'm going to ghost her. That's just the way things are, folks. We ghost people. And That's just the way it's going to be. And hopefully, one day she'll figure out why, she's not, able to land a guy. Just too many red flags. And again, she was very, very submissive, very compliant, very nice to me, very communicative through texting and all that. But when we talked on the phone, voice to voice, like she had, difficulty. It wasn't that she was trying to not answer questions. She just would answer them like very briefly and very vaguely. And that to me is not going to create any type of spark or anything at all. Communication, like the topic of the stream, the importance of communication in personal and professional relationships is extremely important, folks. It's extremely important. Even in, business relationships, right? Like I've tried to collaborate with many people out here on YouTube. And before YouTube, I tried collaborating with many people in real life when it came to running my networking organization back in those days and running my insurance business. I tried to do some collaborations with people, right? Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But I will tell you when they work best is when the lines of communication are very open and there's a constant flow up to a communication. And you can sit there and just have a back and forth 50-50 conversation with somebody. Folks, here's the thing. If the conversation you're having with somebody isn't 50-50, if one side is dominating the conversation more than the other, that's not a good sign. That's your sign to exit, right? And that's the reason why I'm going to exit this. So, anyway. Anyway. Yeah, Queen, keep moderating the chat. We don't need any of that stuff here. We don't need any of that stuff here. Let the trolls be trolls. Let me see if the Quora article has popped back up. I think it has. Let me see. It's trying to pop up. Yeah, it's back. All right, Quora is back. Let me just make sure that it's rolling smoothly in the browser source. Yeah, it is. Queen, give me just a second here. Ah, boy. These are the most pathetic people I've ever met in my entire life. Pathetic people, Queen. They can't get enough of me. They can't get enough of you. So, you just got to do what you got to do. Give me just 1 second here, folks. Just a second here. We're almost set. Almost set. Gosh, give me a second here. Okay, let me just double check something here real quick. Just gotta make sure this was taken care of. Yeah. All right. All right, we are all set to go. Good afternoon, Lewis. All right, folks, I'm going to step away and take one more quick break here, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how important is communication to you. We're going to read some responses on a Quora question, which is what I'm trying to twine. I can't even talk, which is what I'm trying to say. Today has not been a good day. It has just not been a good day between the earlier stream and what happened with my microphone going out temporarily on this stream. And it is what it is. But we're going to keep moving forward. That's what we do over here. So let me cue up some royalty-free YouTube music, and then we're going to be right back. Hey, Zero Infinity, how are you doing, bro? Welcome to the show. Glad to see you here. It's been a while. It has been a while. All right. So give me a second here. All right, music is all queued up, folks. I'm going to step away for a quick break, and we'll get right back to it when I return. Stick around, we'll be right. Whoops, wait, let's go back to full screen before we do that. Stick around, we'll be right. And you know what? Dang it, I forgot something. I forgot BWYA Gaming's second super sticker. This time it's a super sticker. Did I get that already? I missed it, actually, BWYA Gaming. Thank you so much for that. It happened right when my microphone went out. We're going to add another $3. Thank you so much, BWYA Gaming, for the $3 super sticker. That's going to bring the channel donations total to $15. So now, stick around. We'll be right back. We're back, and stick around, Lewis. I know what you're going through, bro. Internet problems again, huh? Yeah. Whew. Just feel the music for a second. Yeah. All right. Sometimes you have to slow it down a little bit. Catch your breath. Reset. Things happen in life, folks. You just have to roll with the punches. I'll share more about that in just a few here. EMK says, welcome back. Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. All right. Welcome back to the third and final segment of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube and no longer simulcasting live on Facebook. We had some issues earlier where I bumped my pop filter, and the Blue Yeti microphone I use has a very, very loose USB cable at the bottom of the microphone, and if it's even wiggled a little bit, it disconnects you from your USB port to the sound card, driver. And when that happens, the only way to reset it is to restart the computer because it screws up your audio driver. I have to look and see if there's a better cable I can get or stabilize it more. It typically doesn't happen. It's happened a few times to me, so it kind of ruined the Facebook broadcast because after 5 minutes of not streaming, Facebook will not allow you to start up again like YouTube does. On YouTube, I could kill this stream right now, and as long as I don't shut it down on the back end, I can kill it on OBS and come back 5 hours later and leave off where I left off. And people that see me live will just see a little buffering circle there. But you can't do that on Facebook. So, Lewis, I totally understand. You said you had internet problems. I don't know, man. You gotta either get hardwired into your your laptop or desktop or whatever you use, or get your Wi-Fi router a little bit closer, or get a Wi-Fi extender. The reason why you keep dropping, Lewis, is because you don't have a strong enough Wi-Fi signal reaching the device that you're streaming from. And that's why when I stream, I'm plugged into Ethernet. I'm plugged directly into my router with an Ethernet cable, and you never have any issues. The only issues I have is when YouTube's live streaming server is overloaded and it cuts me off and then reconnects me shortly afterwards. But anyway, so here's what I want to share before we get to this Quora question. How important is communication to you? Folks, here's the thing. I've said this before and I'll say it again. In life, you're going to encounter a lot of obstacles. And especially if you do what I do. If you're a public figure, you're a YouTuber, especially if you're a streamer, you're going to encounter a ton of things coming your way. Not only are you going to be dealing with possible technical issues, and you have to know how to handle them, especially if you're a one-man or one-person show, and there's no production manager or assistant to help you out with that. You got to figure it out on your own. You have to also make sure you have a great group of moderators that can mod your chat, and if there aren't any moderators there, you have to moderate your own chat. You got to deal with, crazy, insecure, immature people that are supposed to be grown-ass adults, but they have nothing better to do in the middle of a Thursday than come in and try to troll your chat to try to kick you down. You've got people that are going to try to simulcast you to try to trigger you and suck you back into endless nonsensical drama. And you can't let it get to you. I used to let it get to me, folks, in the past when I wasn't as well versed in being a YouTuber as I am today. You got to just, roll with the punches and keep moving forward. Like I mentioned throughout this show, I tried doing this show overnight. And I had some issues happen, so I killed the entire stream 1 hour in. I deleted it. Of course, I keep a backup copy of that, but I'm never going to use it, right? And then I restarted back up, and everything was going smoothly until I, hit my microphone, and then that knocked out my audio, and I had to restart. And just, things are going to come at you in every which way. Just roll with the punches. Keep moving forward. Don't let it get to you. And eventually you will accomplish whatever it is that your heart desires, folks. Same thing with the dating world. I've been talking with a lot of women. And a lot of these women I could have hooked up with. I could have had one-night stands with. I could have, tried to get into a relationship with them and probably had some good sex in the meantime. But I know deep within my heart, it was never going to work out in the end. And I'm not the type of guy that wants to invest my time in something temporary. I know what I want. What I want is something sustainable long-term in every aspect of my life. That includes my YouTube channel and my coaching business. That includes my personal life and dating. That includes my friendships. That includes everything. I look to, create things that are real and genuine and sustainable long term. And I'm not willing to, deal with a quick fix in any aspect of my life just for temporary satisfaction. I'm not willing to do what a lot of people do out here on YouTube and create drama content to make a bunch of donations quick. And then, when that fizzles out, try to go back to creating my original content. You keep doing that, you're never going to get to where you want to get to. It's not going to be sustainable long term. And you're more so shooting yourself in the foot. Okay? With dating relationships, you keep hooking up with women, driving all over, the area, sometimes hours just for a hookup and stuff like that. It's going to burn you out. And it's going to take away from what you really want that's going to really satisfy you deep within. And a lot of people will scrutinize me for that, especially a lot of guys. They're like, dude, just go and have fun. And when it happens, it happens. I'm like, listen, I handle myself differently. I go into things knowing what I want, and I won't settle for anything less. Now, I'm not like, some people are nowadays, especially many women, where I have extremely high unattainable standards. I do have attainable standards, but, I'm not going to settle for something with someone in any capacity of my life on a business or personal level unless it's something that I can see longevity in down the road, potential longevity. If I can't see potential longevity, I'm moving on. That's just the way it is. That's part of my coaching style, and that's that. So anyway, let's go ahead. Where are we at right now? We are. It says 2 hours and 49 minutes, but we've been on a little less than that because I did kill the stream for about 15 minutes. So we're probably, at about 2 hours and 35 minutes or so right now on the stream. I'm going to take the last half hour or so of the show to switch on over to the browser source and go over this Quora question because I read this earlier and there was some interesting feedback regarding how important is communication to you. Because to me, it's everything. Like I've been saying all along, communication to me has to be two ways, and it has to be equal. And again, if you're communicating with someone, whether it's a potential dating partner, a potential business partner, a potential friend, or whatever it is that you're trying to, accomplish, or whoever you're trying to connect with for whatever reason, if there's one side that more so dominates the conversation than the other, that relationship is never going to work at all. The best relationships that I've noticed work when there's a constant flow of two-way communication. It's natural, it's equal, it's fair, and that's just what's worked for me. And when I don't sense that, I just move on. I move on and look for better communicators. All right, so let's go to the top here. How important is communication to you? The first person that responded is Rajan Rizada. He has an MBA in communication and marketing. Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University. Okay, he's probably from India. As your career progresses, the importance of communication skills increases. The ability to speak, listen, question, and write with clarity and conciseness are essential for most managers and leaders. Absolutely. I've been in management before. And that's how I'm able to do what I do now as an entrepreneur. I'm my own manager. I'm my own boss. I'm my own everything. Communication is essential for me to be successful, because if I can't communicate with other people and collaborate with other people or help other people in ways that bring in revenue, I'm not going to be successful. In your personal life, good communication skills can improve your personal relationships by helping you understand others and to be understood. Like that woman earlier I was mentioning that I'm not going to meet. Okay. She would say one word for every 300 words I would say. What's that going to do for me? Even if I was laying in bed with her and snuggled up and we made love, had sex, whatever you want to call it. Oh, we wouldn't be making love on the first date. We had sex all weekend and it was great. If there's nothing verbal happening before, during, and after that, like, that's just empty sex to me. That's just an empty thing. Like, I want to be with someone where we can have that intimacy and then snuggle up and have a great, conversation. Some of the best conversations you can have with a dating partner is right after intimacy. And I just wouldn't want to be intimate with someone, and then she just sits there and looks at me, and I start talking, and she says nothing. Like, that's just not going to work, right? It is almost a cliche that personal relationships need communication. Failure to talk has been blamed for the breakdown of any number of partnerships and relationships. That's why I'm not meeting this woman. But the ability to listen is also an important element. This woman's a great listener, just not a great conversationalist. I'm looking for both because I have both qualities. Communication is also vital in wider family relationships, whether you want to discuss arrangements for holidays or ensure that your teenage children are well and happy. Absolutely. Absolutely. In this area is a particular interest. I don't know how that was written. That was written kind of weird. You may want to read our pages on communicating with teenagers, talking to teenagers about contraception, pornography, and consent, and talking to teenagers about, I think this guy's just kind of advertising here. Let's skip that part. Communication skills can also ensure that you are able to manage interactions with businesses and organizations. Right. His spelling is off because it's from a different country. That's true. How are you going to get a job if you can't communicate? Like, it makes me wonder how this woman got her job at the casino she works at if she wasn't able to communicate with the hiring manager. Or maybe is it just, guys she's getting to know for a potential relationship that she struggles with, right? That's still not good. You have to be able to communicate in all aspects of your life if you want to create sustainable, relationships at a business and personal level. Over the course of your lifetime, you're likely to have to interact with a wide range of organizations and institutions, including shops, businesses, government offices, and schools. Good communication skills can ease these interactions and ensure that you are able to get your point across calmly and clearly, and also take on board the responses. Right. That's what I look for in someone, how they communicate. Okay? Okay? I'm not trying to tell people what to say, but I'm saying if you can't articulate what you feel, what you want, what you enjoy at a consistent on a consistent level, it's just not going to work. I'm not going to try to figure out, what you're thinking or how you're feeling. If you can't communicate, then I'm out. Being able to complain effectively is an important skill, for example, as is handling criticism yourself. Well, number one, complaining is pointless. Complaining is, I don't agree with you there, sir. But if you're going to be a complainer, yeah, then, you need to have negative communication skills, but I don't preach that. So, as is handling criticism yourself. Well, handling criticism is something different, and I can handle criticism quite well. especially out here on YouTube, you have to be able to handle criticism. Now, I'm not saying I wasn't able to handle criticism in the past. I was. What I wasn't able to handle was trolling. And I learned how to handle it. And I learned that the best way to kill it is to ignore it, no matter how much it's done. All right. That was reasonable there. I'm not going to read this one because it's pretty long. I'm going to share this link in the description section if you folks want to check this out later. I'm going to read through some of the shorter ones here. Donald Larter says, well, he's the owner and operator of Craig Chase Vinyl, 2003 to present. Communication is important to me because it is life itself. Let me repeat that one more time. Hey, Adelaide, how you doing? We're going to connect very, very soon. Communication is important to me because it is life itself. Think of communication in a relationship as fuel to a car. Without fuel, the car doesn't run. Without communication, the relationship doesn't work. Regardless of the type of relationship. Romantic, business, friendship. You can't communicate, you got nothing. Language is the medium of communication, at least for humans, and community is the result. The community of family, friends, work associates, neighbors, spouses, and even our enemies cannot function well without a satisfying amount of communication. You guys keep mentioning enemies. And I don't like the negative aspect of this, but I understand what you're saying. Even enemies and negative people have to be able to communicate in a negative way effectively, which I don't like, and I don't think most decent people like, right? But I get what you're saying. Communication regarding anything good, bad, or indifferent is essential to get your point across. Right. And to connect with that person, right? I get it. Out of communication comes such things as knowledge of others, intimacy with others. Going back to this woman I was talking about. She wants to have intimacy with me. She feels that strong connection. But if her communication with me outside of that is just non-existent, then there's no intimacy. Then to me, it'd be kind of like sleeping with a dead fish. That's just not going to work for me. Attachments of various kinds with various kinds of people, collaborative efforts, team sports, and so much more. Through communication, I get to know people better and they me. Absolutely. You get to find out things about people that are either going to strengthen your relationship or create deal breakers. And people that have communication breakdowns of any sorts or are not able to say more than a few words every now and then, that's a red flag. You have to see it as a red flag. And then you have to ask, if you're getting to know somebody on a dating site and you sense that, you have to ask other questions to get an idea of what they're trying to hold back. And if they're not trying to hold back something, could it be something like with this woman to the point of where she's just trying to get her life back together, but she's not there yet, and she's scrambling all over the place, right? A woman like that is not ready for a relationship, and anything that she gets into is going to be rushed, and it's not going to last. Now, if I gave this woman a chance and kept going back to see her, I bet that she would keep spending time with me, and she would feel like we were in a relationship. But a woman like this that can't communicate more than 2 words every so often is going to bore me at some point, to the point of where it's not going to even, make me feel like I want to get in my car and drive an hour and a half to see her. If I'm going to drive an hour and a half to see somebody, it has to be someone that is worth it outside of the debt. They have to be worth it overall as the entire package. There is a mutuality to communication which allows me to get to know people I choose to get to know. Not everyone can be a true friend, but when I find one, and I have at age 69 several good friends whom I can count on, we solidify and grow our relationship at our own pace through communication. Couldn't have said it better myself, Donald. That was well written. Bini Walia, content writer, communication, rather open communication, rather is very important to me. She put a picture there. What did you say right for? Right question mark, zero infinity? I'm not sure what you mean. Queen Helen Casey says people who write long comments are writing a whole novel. That's true. That's true. I don't typically read the extremely long ones because they're just going off on a tangent that's going to bore people and probably bore me too. I totally get it, Queen. I totally get it. Let me see here real quick. Communication resolves issues quicker. Lack of it causes more issues. Take a look at that at the top of the screen. Okay? Communication resolves issues quicker. Lack of it causes more issues. Again, going back to this woman. I was ready to go and meet her tomorrow and spend a few nights with her, a few days with her, and more than just sex, but that was going to happen, right? And the reason why she's going to miss out on her chance with a great guy like me is because of her lack of communication. Her lack of being able to speak more than 2 words. Life gets complicated at times. Communication simplifies it. I think they left out the S in time there, but I just added it there. Life gets complicated at times. Communication simplifies it. Right, right. Talk it out. Don't be afraid to talk it out. Communication gives birth to new ideas, reforms, and often makes matters easy to deal with. I love a woman that can talk, but also listens. Now, there are also women and men that talk up a storm and overpower you in a conversation. I've talked with women that, I ask them a question and they go on for like 10 minutes without taking a breath. And then they ask me a question, I start responding to that question, and they cut me off and go off on a tangent for another 5 minutes. And they keep doing that. That right there is a red flag. That is a lack of great communication skills. That person doesn't have a problem, saying words and communicating in general, but they have an issue with their communication style, which is one-sided. It's basically overpowering the conversation. Like I said earlier, you have to have a constant flow of two-way communication, 50-50. And you have to take pauses every few minutes and maybe say, hey, what do you think about this? Right? And then they'll get back to you and say, I think this is good. It's a good idea, blah, 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 whatever, right? And then they'll probably pause, and then you go back and say, I'm glad you feel that way. That's great. That's a great natural flow of two-way communication. 50-50. I am someone who is quite vocal and often chooses open communication over hiding her feelings. But that doesn't mean I'll keep banging against a dead wall only to let my own head bleed. And that's how I felt with this woman. I tried for 2 nights straight once I started to notice that she was saying fewer and fewer words and not responding to my questions with any sense of detail or any form of detail. I was not going to keep banging my head. And I was not going to meet her, and even if she wanted to be intimate in person, hang out with someone that can't, express herself. Like, I like it when a woman talks during sex. Like, she tells me she's feeling good. That turns me on more. And I tell her too, right? So if this woman cannot communicate on the phone more than 2 words to a question I asked her that maybe, used, maybe I prefaced with something and I spoke 100 words and she only responds with 2, I mean, it's not going to be any different in person. It's just not going to feel right. I believe in healthy relationships and communication is the very basis of it. Let me repeat that again. I believe in healthy relationships and communication is the very basis of it. Couldn't have said it better myself. Perfectly stated. If you want to step into leadership roles, then you need to communicate effectively and impactfully. Yes, you need to make an impact with your words. Choose your words. I can't even talk. Choose your words wisely, right? Now, don't sit there and overthink things. Once you become a pretty good communicator like myself, and you're a good public speaker, your words will come naturally. And you don't have to sit there and worry about saying the wrong thing or overthink things. But initially, as you're building up yourself to be a better communicator, sure, you may have to pause and think a little bit, but don't let that, stop you from actually saying something, because saying something is better than saying nothing at all, right? If you say nothing at all, then there's zero communication. There's no energy happening there, right? Since I'm into one, communication is quite imperative for me. Okay, yeah, me too. Couldn't have said it better myself. Be your own voice. Stand up for yourself when need be, and always choose open communication over escapism. That's what this woman was trying to do. This was beautifully stated. Escapism. Again, this woman wasn't trying to hide anything from me. Maybe she kind of was, but not because she wanted to. I think this woman has been through so much, and she shared so much with other guys that she's met over the last couple of years since she's been in this situation after her marriage, that she probably feels the less she says, the better chance of her making it work with the next guy she tries to make something work with, right? When the truth of the matter is the complete opposite. I'd rather have her be completely open and honest with me and share everything. Had this woman communicated with me at an equal level, 50-50, regardless of what she's going through right now, which is pretty typical and common for people that have been through a divorce. Maybe for her it's a little bit, maybe she's a little bit, behind what the typical person would be after 2 years of being divorced, but everyone's different, right? But if she just was able to communicate better and I could feel her energy, I would have given her the chance, despite her situation. But I just stopped feeling her energy when she stopped putting out energy. 2 words, that's very little to zero energy there. I felt it quite personally that communication breaks mends many situations. Okay? Especially during dark times. If you pour your thoughts out and let others know, it can bring a lot of clarity to otherwise chaotic situations. Yeah, like if you're in a relationship and, you have an issue with your partner, you need to talk things out. You need to drop everything regardless of where you're at. You could be out to dinner. You could be on a drive somewhere. You could be on a hike. Wherever you're at. If you're hanging out with friends or family and you're feeling something, pull your partner off to the side and have a conversation. If you feel something is making you feel, off, right? And talk with your partner and say, hey, look, we're here at my family's place or your family's place or with our friends. Let's not make this difficult here, and let's talk about it afterwards, babe, and we will figure it out. I promise you everything's going to be okay, right? So you see how I'd be communicating? I'm trying to defuse the situation. I'm communicating, and I'm asking her, would that work for you, babe? Listen, I care about you. I love you, blah, blah, blah. I understand you're going through something. We're not going to be here that much longer. Let's make the best of it, and I'll make it up for you, okay? Be just cool, right? Okay? Those are effective communication skills. I'm going to read a couple, 2 or 3 more, and then we're going to start wrapping this up. So get your questions, comments, and concerns in at this point. I'll be checking out the chat one last time when I get through the next 2 or 3 responses here. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Nothing else going on. We're looking pretty good. Okay. David Taryak, account manager, 2017 through present. I've never heard this expression. However, I've always advised, warned, and in hindsight realized how important it is to set the stage. He originally answered, what is the introduction importance of communication? Okay. Maybe that's a side question that was asked. So he's saying, I had never heard this expression. However, I've always advised, warned, and in hindsight realized how important it is to set the stage when communicating. That's what I do when I'm talking with women on dating sites. I set the stage when I communicate. And I am very clear. I'm open-minded. I'm honest. I'm to the point. And I look to see how they respond. Do they respond in a similar positive way, feeling in a similar way? They don't have to feel exact, because no two people are exactly alike. But I look to see how they respond to my communication style. And by me being the man, I want to set the stage for the woman that I'm going to talk with, so she understands that I'm a great communicator and I expect great communication in return. Or it's not going to work, right? Our perspectives drive, it should be drive, not drive. These people don't check their spelling and grammar. Our perspectives drive the direction of communication we receive. That's true. That's true. Without setting the stage, what you say becomes whatever your hearers, that's not even a word. Whatever the people that are hearing you say what you're saying, hearers is not a word. I get what you're saying, though. Want it to be. Nine out of 10 things are taken the wrong way. That's true, because people are not communicating effectively and clearly, right? They're not being specific enough. That's a problem I see nowadays. Maybe I'll do a show on that. Be specific when you communicate. Many people nowadays are so vague for many reasons. Number one, they're insecure and they don't want to answer certain questions that they feel would get them dismissed by the people they're talking with, right? Number two, we are lazy and we use short code on our phones through texting. BRB, LOL, LMFAO, right? ROTFL, rolling on the floor laughing, right? That's not a good communication style. Now, through texting, maybe it is, but when you're talking with me on the phone or in person, if you're using short code and, you're not communicating specifically, I'm going to ask you one time, can you be more specific, please? I've talked with so many women, right? And they beat around the bush with their answer, maybe because they just don't want to say the wrong thing, right? And I'm like, can you be more specific, please? You're being rather vague. Well, I don't think I'm being vague. Well, you are being, I feel you're being vague. I want to understand better where you're coming from. So I'm asking you to be more specific, right? And if you say that once or twice when they're being vague and they continue to be vague, at that point you got to cut it off and move on. Weird names for people. Sure, Queen. Sure. Let's see. Effective communication builds communities, cities, countries, nations, and alliances on all levels. That's true. Putting your foot on the pedal and releasing the steering wheel is a guaranteed disaster. That's true. That's true. You're going to have a car out of control if you're putting the pedal to the metal and not holding the steering wheel. You're probably not going to survive that. Those who don't consider setting the stage are planning for chaos. That's right. You got to set the stage. If you're going to approach someone, you got to go into it with excellent communication skills, right? Introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Eli. It's a great pleasure to meet you. How's your day going? Okay. Yeah, what do you do for a living? What do you like to do for fun, right? What do you enjoy during your spare time? It's as simple as that, right? And if people don't want to answer that, then they're closed off. Then there's nothing there to bond with anyway, right? But you're not going to know if you don't ask. And you have to ask by communicating effectively and specifically and directly and open and honest. Honestly, that's a better way to put it. There are many people talking at times, that's me, and misleading the masses. Well, those are people that are not trustworthy. And you can find out very quickly, if you're as intuitive as myself, how trustworthy somebody is by asking them a few questions. I like to get very specific. I ask questions that most people would not ask, whether it comes to my dating romantic relationships, women I'm trying to get to know, whether it comes to making new friends, new business contacts, whatever. I ask questions, specific questions, direct questions. And I'm looking to see if these people are going to answer first and foremost. And if they do answer, are they going to beat around the bush, or are they going to be specific and allow me to get to know them? Right? I like when this guy says setting the stage. How do we know? Judge a tree by the fruit it bears. Look at the results you're getting. How we start a conversation could deafen or solicit the undivided attention of others. That was perfectly stated, David. Let me repeat that one more time. How we start a conversation could deafen, meaning end the conversation, or solicit, keep it going, and, make it go somewhere, the undivided attention of others. Today's day and age, it's hard to keep someone's attention. Your communication skills, your effective communication skills, and your timely communication skills, and getting to the point quicker and not wasting that person's time, is going to get them more engaged. Now, once they get more engaged, if you're talking to a woman, for example, if you get her engaged, she starts to like you, and then you meet, and the communication's there in person, and you like each other, you're attracted to each other, then she's going to give you more of her time. You're going to give you more of she's going to give you more of her time. You're going to give her more of yours, which is what I'm trying to say, right? Okay? But you're never going to get there if you can't communicate effectively from the very beginning by setting the stage, like David says, right? Very, very well written there. Great response there, David. All right, let me check out the chat real quick. Anushka, give me a second here. Anushka Gold, she's probably Indian. PG Diploma, Journalism and Mass Communication, Xavier Institute of Communications, Mumbai, 2019. Communication for me is key to our daily life. Let me tell you a story. Okay, Anushka. I know of a person who really loved this one guy. That's great. The thing was that they lived apart and could only talk over phones. They tried video calls, texts, normal phone calls, everything. However, somewhere, somehow, they weren't able to communicate their feelings to each other. That's a problem. That's a serious problem. If you can't communicate your feelings to each other, why are you with each other in the first place? They weren't able to understand the other person, and this created problems. They were not able to communicate their feelings to each other over the phone. If you like someone, or you're friends with someone, boyfriend, girlfriend, business partner, whatever, if you have a problem communicating in any way, whether it's by phone, video chat, in person, or whatever, right? Texting, email, whatever, right? There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Even in the everyday, one communicates with a lot of people. Your words, your body language, because your body language is going to match. You see, this is the thing. Here's a tip for you YouTubers out there. I see many of you YouTubers, you're like this, and you're on your live streams or your videos, and you're like, "Hi, my name is Rick, and welcome to my YouTube channel." Right? What's that going to do? When you watch my streams or watch my pre-recorded videos, not only do you hear how I feel, you get to see how I feel. That's how I'm communicating with you. I'm communicating with you through verbal expression and physical expression. My words are matching my actions. Do you see that? That's huge right there. Your words, your body language, your hand gestures. You see, do you ever notice I'm always moving around? I'm never standing here sitting still. I'm moving around because I want you folks to feel what's coming out of my mouth. I want you to relate to it, engage with it, right? Respond to it, right? That woman I was talking with, how am I going to respond to a two-word response of her practically not even saying anything? There's nothing to respond to, so there's nothing there to keep the fire going. Your eye contact. Look at this. You see I have eye contact with the camera? I'm looking right into the lens. Now, sometimes I don't look at it because I'm reading something on the screen, but for the most part, especially when you're doing these videos, live streams, you want to be looking right at the camera. Now, let me ask you this, Queen, or anyone else that's there. Can you see right now as I'm speaking? Can you see my eyes directly looking at the camera? Do you see my eyes making eye contact with you? I'm going to stay here for 1 second here, and I want you folks to see this. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. You see my eyes? They're right on the camera. Okay? Your facial expressions. Are you happy? Are you a little angry? Are you passionate? You can see my facial expressions all the time. And you know how I'm feeling about something. Everything has a role to play in good, effective communication. I thought I said it better myself. Anushka. Like that name. That's a cool name. If you do not communicate, you will never be able to put your point across. If you do not communicate, you will never be able to put your point across. Or get your point across. But she's from another country. That's okay. Couldn't have said it better myself. That's why communication plays a significant role in our everyday life. It's like fuel to a car. No communication, no fuel to keep the friendship or relationship going. It's not going to go anywhere. Or even business partnership, or anything that anyone you're trying to connect with for whatever reason. Very, very well written and stated, Anushka. I'm going to read a couple of more. Oh, this guy wrote twice, but I'm not going to read. Oh, okay, I'm going to read 3 more. 2 from the same person. Unlock your mind. Don Cake, penetration tester of artificial stupidity. That's great. That's not your real name, man. That's your internet trolling name. Queen Casey says, hold on a second. Weird names for people. Why are you picking on Riff? Who's picking on Riff? I don't get that, Queen. Can you be more specific, please? See, I'm asking her because she communicated something to me that's not making a whole lot of sense in the context she wrote it in. So, more specific, please, Queen. That's all you have to do is ask people to be more specific. Yes, I see them. Excellent. That's the point, right? That's the point. All right. Let's continue. This has been a very long show. Because basically communication is the only thing we ever do. Right. It's what creates life. Therefore, the most basic communication skills are the most important basic skills in life. Now, Queen, if I was going to do this and go back to full screen, you'll be able to see my eyes looking at the camera in a bigger way. You see now my eyes are down, but now I'm looking right at the camera, right? You can see my eyes looking right at the camera. The eyes are the window to the soul, right? I'm communicating with my audience right now. I'm looking at you directly in your eyes through the lens of my camera. That's effective communication right there. Let's go back to the browser screen. Let's not forget to switch back like I did on yesterday's stream. So you can see what I'm reading there. Beyond this, in my experience, there are very few people who appreciate that the most basic communication skills are, it turns out, describing and explaining, and asking and checking, skills we are born with. So when you get to know a woman, for example, for a potential relationship, right, for dating, describing yourself, asking her to describe herself, beyond physical, what she likes to do for fun, give me a description of who you are, beyond your looks, maybe including your looks, right? Plus explaining, okay? You're going to explain things, absolutely, and asking, right? You're going to ask questions that you're curious about regarding things that are important to you to see if you connect with that person, right? And checking. If something feels a little bit off, don't be afraid to ask. What's the worst that can happen? It can end your conversation, and that was probably the best thing that could have happened to it, right? Going back to the Catherine Manning story from the beginning, the YouTuber with almost 400K subs, and her boyfriend cheating on her. There was a guy, I didn't read his comment, I remember it from reading it before I went on the air earlier today. And the guy said, he did you a favor. And I'd have to agree with that. He did you a favor by cheating on you, but he also did himself a favor because he was being taken advantage of for the most part. Something like that had to happen to end that relationship between Catherine Manning and her ex-husband, who was her boyfriend before that for many years. It was a toxic, codependent relationship that had to end. And that was the way for her ex-husband to basically, find an excuse and find a reason to break it off. He didn't want to hurt her feelings. He didn't want to leave her. But she just stopped being who she was initially. And she probably never really felt that way for him because she was probably more so just looking for a provider that could help her get through a rough time. Anyway, go back and check out the first part of the show if you want to hear that story. When it goes to a replay. Asking and checking. You always want to check. If something is off, like I said, you want to check. And if something is a potential red flag, don't be afraid to ask directly about it, because it's either going to, get you your answer and it's going to be satisfactory to keep moving forward, or it's going to upset her or the other person you're getting to know, and they're just going to say it's over, which would be doing you a favor as well, saving you time, not wasting it. From this, we can begin to understand that our traditional institutions tend towards inhibition of these most basic skills. True. So we have currently ended up with a situation where the most basic skills we must use to improve the situation are not encouraged so that the current system can continue. Right. Unless we acknowledge this, we face the possibility of even more massive death and destruction. I would define trying to avoid all that as important. Well, that last part really didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. That was kind of strange, but I guess you're trying to communicate something. And if I was, having this conversation with you in person, unlock your mind. I would say more specific, please. What was the purpose of you stating that last part? That's how I would communicate with you regarding what you stated there towards the end. Sheosi Day, MBA Communications, Symbiosis, School of Media and Communication, 2020. Communication is one of the most important tools which helps one to describe their thoughts, feelings, emotions to an individual or a mass through some apt body gestures and communication channels. Without communication, people wouldn't be able to share their ideas, and hence this world may remain just a normal place to live in. Normal place, there'd be nothing happening. And wouldn't it be normal? It would be boring. There'd be nothing happening. It would be stale. But I get what you're saying. Now, should I even read Unlock Your Mind has been Unlock Your Mind must be I don't understand how this works. It says unlock your mind, then it puts people's names. Maybe there are like groups that can comment on Quora. I'm not exactly sure how Quora works. But I'm going to read one more. Unlock Your Mind, Marilyn Redmond, owner, spiritual counselor at Angelica's Gifts, 1991 through present. Queen says, I see them. I don't show myself on camera because I know I have rabbit teeth. Well, that's okay. Well, that's on you, Queen. I wouldn't care what anyone thinks, but hey, that's you. It's all good. Not a big deal. How you communicate creates your life. When you send love from your heart, the love comes back. I have to repeat that again. How you communicate creates your life. When you send love from your heart, the love comes back. If you are angry, resentful, guilty, shamed, etc., that comes back. What you put out, you get back. You only get what you project. That's my new line. You only get what you project. You only get what you project. You only get what you project. So don't project your insecurities, because that's not good. I had to learn to speak for love instead of my fear from growing up. Maybe that stems back to your childhood, ma'am. Maybe you come from a broken household. Maybe, your mom raised you or your dad raised you and the other parent wasn't in the picture. I get it. But you figured it out. Sounds like it turned out okay based on the way you're writing this. Today, my language is healthy and caring for myself and others. That's perfect. Treat others the way you want to be treated. You have to love yourself first before you're able to love anyone else. That's perfectly stated. My book, Paradigm Busters, at Amazon. Nice plug there, ma'am. Tells how I changed from a fear-based person to a love-based person to send out love and have it return. Be as positive as you can in all things. That is reality. Let you get away with that plug, ma'am, on your response, because what you're writing is actually pretty valuable. It's good stuff. Be as positive as you can in all things. That is reality. You have to give it away to keep it. You have to give it away to keep it. Take chances. If you want true love, you have to risk a broken heart to get it. You have to give it away to keep it. That's beautiful. What goes around comes around. Right. What you project, you get back. You only get what you project, right? You want to put things out into the universe in a way that defines who you are so you get that back. You want to show up being yourself, being open-minded, communicative, down to earth, laid back, easygoing, go with the flow. What goes around, comes around. One of the oldest sayings in the book, but makes perfect sense. It's an oldie but goodie. My days today are enriched in love. Love never fails. Well, I won't go as far and say love never fails. It fails all the time. But the love for yourself should never fail, right? That would make more sense to me. All right. And that's as far as we're going to go with this core question. How important is communication to you? I'm going to take this link and actually share it in the description section of YouTube and Facebook. First on YouTube under the source section, a couple lines down from the top. Let me add that right now. Copy that. Well, I forgot. We're not broadcasting on Facebook anymore, so I don't have to copy it over there. So if you refresh now or come back on the replay, you will see the link to this article if you want to check out the rest of the responses there. Anyway, we're done here, folks. It's been a long show. I may come back for another show later tonight, or I may take the rest of the day off. This was a very, very long show. We had some issues throughout the show technically, but for the most part, it ran pretty well, and the replay should be spliced back together by YouTube. Let's go back to full screen and wrap this up. I want to thank everyone for being here today. Thank you to BWYA Gaming for your super chat, super stickers. Thank you to Lord Gaelic for your super chat earlier. And thank you to, who was the other person? BWYA Gaming sent super chats. And where was the other one? Where was the other one? Man, I cannot remember. I am so sorry. Forgive me. All right, folks, I'm going to get on out of here. Have yourself a great day. I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.